G'day guys, welcome along to another On Throttle video. Today we're going to do a bit of a comparison between the Dual Sport CRF Rally and the Adventure Moto Morini X-Cape. The reason I'm looking at comparing these two bikes, I wanted to compare the Rally and the Moto Morini to try and help you understand the differences between a Dual Sport motorcycle and an adventure motorcycle. So first off, let's define how I see a adventure motorcycle. So motorcycles that are built in the adventure segment, particularly in the Lambs part, they're often twin cylinder, they weigh over 200 kilograms, they have at least a 19-inch front wheel, and they offer a decent amount of rider protection from the elements. They're built with touring in mind, not necessarily hard off-roading. The Dual Sport, on the other hand, is built with more off-road ability in mind, but less touring ability. So the Dual Sport, you'll almost find every single one that falls into the Dual Sport category coming with spoked wheels and at least a 21-inch front wheel, often a 17 or an 18-inch rear. These give you good aggressive tyre choices. They will almost always have a single cylinder engine. There are a couple of oddballs out there with twins, but they're not very popular. For the most part, a Dual Sport motorcycle is a single cylinder engine under 700 cc's. And you're going to have bodywork that can take a fall. These bikes are built to be rugged, not necessarily built to be pretty. So what are the pros and cons of each? So pros for the adventure bike, obviously very comfortable on road, offers decent rider protection from the elements, and with a multi-cylinder engine, cruising around at highway speeds is a bit of a breeze. They're also very good multi-use vehicles and you're not really going to go wrong with them. Dual Sport, on the other hand, because it is built with off-road ability in mind, it's definitely the better choice if hard trails are what you are planning on doing. So you've got longer travel suspension, you often have decent ground clearance. The Rally here has got over 10 inches. Built lightweight because they are built around a single cylinder engine, so when you inevitably drop them, they are easier to pick up. Also, like I said before, they're built tough, they're built durable, so dropping them isn't necessarily going to make you cry when you have to go to the dealership and get new plastics. Cons, yeah. So, flip side of the adventure bike, being based around a twin cylinder engine, they are often heavy. So, we're looking at 200 kilograms plus, and yeah, you're going to feel that when you inevitably have to pick it up. They also don't come out of the box quite frequently with crash bars. Those are often an accessory, and they're definitely something you're going to want to invest in. Because these bikes are built with more multi-use in mind, particularly a road bias, the plastics are not quite as durable as those found on a Dual Sport. You also lack a bit of ground clearance, so I have some friends that like to call adventure bikes soft-roaders, Dual Sports are off-roaders. The Moto Morini, for instance, has 175 millimeters of ground clearance, which is still right up there for this class, particularly the 650s. Dual Sport negatives. Well, it's again a flip of the adventure bikes. So, great off-road ability, not so hot highway ability. The Rally here has a fairing which does help somewhat, but a Dual Sport bike often has a very hard, unforgiving seat that doesn't offer a lot of room in terms of comfort. The taller suspension and particularly these high front mudguards can catch the wind and give you a wee bit of a wobble. And in general, because they've got such a small engine, you're often revving them quite hard and they're not as enjoyable on the open road. Right, so how do you choose between them? Well, it all comes down to your use case. So if you're planning to be a off-road explorer, do some four-wheel drive tracks, spend a lot of your time off-road or commuting in the city, a Dual Sport actually is a really good option. Because it's such a durable platform, you can throw them, you can drop them, you're not going to have a hard time when it comes to picking them up or repairing them. They're often quite affordable to own and operate, and yeah, being small single cylinder engines, they're also quite cheap to insure, which is always a bonus. On the other hand, if you're buying a bike as a weekend toy, you want to do a bit of everything, a bit of touring, a bit of gravel roads, maybe the odd twin track here or there, an adventure bike could be for you. Keep in mind the pros and cons, but really it is up to you at the end of the day. Buy a bike that makes you feel good when you look back at it, but always make sure that you try your bikes first, because there's nothing worse than buying a bike on the internet, sitting on it and then realizing it ain't for you. So I hope this has been helpful in some way. Any tips, any questions, anything else, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, yeah, I've been Matt, and thanks for watching this On Throttle video.